Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about the word almost. It's a dangerous word, just like other words like just or deserve that I already made a video about. It's a story, it's connected to a story, it's a mental conditioning, it's, it's something that doesn't exist but exists as a story, and it exists as an intermediary layer between us and, let's say, reality. It removes clarity from our thinking. It's distortive, produces judgment and suffering. So let's look into the word almost. What does almost means? First of all, it's a concept, it's an idea, it's a story. It's not something that exists in reality. So it's not something you can put in a box. You can put a cat in a box, a dog in a box, a bottle in a box, but you cannot put almost in a box. So what does it mean, almost? What does it mean? I almost put the cat in the box. It means that there was a high probability that you put the cat in the box. I almost won the lottery. How do you know you almost won the lottery? So maybe out of 6 numbers you guess 5. But actually, you didn't almost win the lottery at all, because let's say the numbers of the lottery are between 0 and 100, and you have to guess 6 numbers. If you guess 5, and the last number is wrong, so you have 1 number wrong. It's not that you almost won. You were very far from winning, because there are 100 numbers, and you got the wrong one. So you will have to get it to almost win 100 times before you actually win. So you were 99% away from winning. You were very far from winning. But again, the reality is that's just the number that came out. I mean, the reality is that you either won or you did not. Because let's say that the number from the lottery is, I'm taking an example. Let's say that the numbers were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those were the right numbers. And you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. You could say, oh, it was just +1. But that doesn't mean anything. It's completely random. It's not that it was almost there. It was not the number. There were 100 possible numbers, and it was the wrong one. Because then why not look at the number below? Or 2 numbers up, or whatever. Or let's say 16. You add the 1 in front. What if there just wasn't that 1? The problem with almost, well, there are many problems with almost, but the problem with almost is that it makes it look that you're very, very close, but in reality, you're very, very far. So someone could say, I almost invested in Bitcoin in the early days. And so you think you were very close. But in reality, maybe of the people that actually invested, maybe out of 100 people that considered investing, 1 invested. So you were in good company with the remaining 91 the remaining 99 that almost invested, whereas 1 invested. I almost became a billionaire. Well, sure, it's completely theoretical. Maybe you put $1 million, let's say, in a stock that went up 1,000 times, but you sold when it doubled. You didn't really almost become a billionaire, because almost nobody would have held from $1 million to $1 billion. Most people would have sold along the way, because it becomes an incredible amount of risk. So you didn't almost, or you almost, a lot of people, because almost is easy, because it's like, imagine, for example, that every day you look at 100 stocks and you research them and you consider investing in them. But out of 100, if you do 100 stocks every day, eventually, even if you just look at 100 stocks, let's say, you do some research and you look at 100 stocks, and then you invest in the stock number 5, let's say, and it does whatever. but it doesn't do big. But the stock number 65 does very well. And you look at it. You were looking at 100 stocks, and you looked at stock 65, you considered it, but you just did not proceed because there were 100 stocks and you were going to decide one. You considered, you researched, you spent time to look into stock 65. You just went to invest in another one. Can you really say that you almost bought it? Not really. You were considering it across 100 possible options and you went for another option. Or let's say you are at the roulette table and you are looking at the game and you look at the numbers and you say, yeah, I think it's going to be number 3 and it's not. I think it's going to be number 5 and it's not. I think it's going to be number 9 and it's not. Eventually, as you keep doing this all night, you're going to think, I think it could be number 8. And it's number 8. And you say you almost won because you could have bet, but you didn't bet. So the funny thing about almost is that it gives an idea of being very, very, very close. But actually, almost always, you are very, very, very far. Because many people are it's like a funnel, like this. So there are many people, tons of people in the almost position, and almost nobody in the actual position. So it's not that, let's say, it's not a thin funnel like this, where the number of people that actually do it is very close to the almost. Maybe the almost will be 10, 20% more. The almost group is maybe 100 times more, 1,000 times more. Again, the example of someone that look into 100 stocks and will invest in stock number 3, whereas then it was stock number 80 that did very well. Because he look at all of them, including stock 80, he's going to say, I almost invested in stock 80. But in reality, if at the top of the funnel we have 100 stocks, at the bottom of the funnel we have only one that did well. So being there doesn't mean anything. Being in the almost group doesn't mean anything. Because you assume that the almost group is very close to the success group, but actually it's very, very far. The almost group is huge compared to the very small. So let's say, again, the example of the lottery. So let's say it's 6 digits. You have to guess correctly 6 numbers. And you get 5, and the last one is wrong. There is a winner that got all 6 numbers right. And then you got the last number wrong. And let's say every number is 100 numbers. But you're in good company. Another 100 people, just like you, got the last number wrong. So we have 100 people that got the first 5 right and got the last number wrong. And we have one person that got all the numbers right. So almost is not close at all. So almost is just a story again that we tell ourselves, because reality is what it is. At the end of the day, things either happened or didn't happen. The cat is in the box or is not in the box. There is no almost. You either won or lost. There is no almost. But almost is a judgment, again, it's a story that we put in between ourselves and reality and make us believe it's similar to a should. It's a softer version of the should. It's more like, I almost won. I should have won. It has this feeling of should. It's not directly expressed, but the word almost has kind of a feeling of should. I almost won. It sounds a little bit like I should have won. I was so close to winning. I should have won. And we suffer. I was almost there. Because if you get it completely wrong, you don't care. If you play the lottery and all the 6 numbers are wrong, you're like, it was not meant to happen. Still a story, but it's like whatever. But if you get 5 numbers right and 1 wrong, you're actually less happy. You rather get the 6 numbers wrong than the 5 right and the last wrong, and you still lose. because you feel you were so close, but you were not close. It's an illusion. It's a story that we tell ourselves, we were close, we were almost there. It's not true. Things either happen or they don't happen. You either win or you don't win. There is no almost. Almost is a story, and it's a word that sounds like should. I almost won. I should have won. I should have won because I almost won. I almost won. I was so close to winning. I should have won because I was so close to winning. That's what it sounds like. It's another should. We judge reality. I almost won. You just lost. There is no almost won. You failed. There is no almost succeeded. Things that happen just happen. You can have a story, but the story is just detrimental. It just adds this layer of judgment, this layer of suffering that add this filter between you and the experience and produce suffering. And it also distorts your thinking. It's unclear thinking. So you may just say, oh, I almost won the lottery, I should play again. As if because you got the first 5 numbers right and the last wrong, you're any closer to winning, so you should play more. No. The odds are the same, and they're not in your favor in lotteries, at least. So almost is dangerous. It can also give the idea that you should try again, you should repeat again. And maybe sometimes it's a good idea, but you have to have discernment when you think you're actually close, because sometimes you're close. If you're doing the 100 meters and you almost beat the world record by 0.001 second, whatever, then maybe you should keep practicing, because maybe in that case you really were close. But it's not almost, it's not you almost win, because again, maybe everyone is competing for a very, very thin range. So it doesn't mean because it's thin that you almost won, because maybe 10 other people could do slightly better, and that's enough to win. So almost is dangerous. Almost is a story. Close is less a story. Close is it's more correct. So it's less distortive, it's less story, it's more objective. So those two fingers are, like, let's say the index and the middle finger are closer than the index and the little finger. It's objective. But you have to be careful when it is truly the case. So let's say that you're fishing and you throw your, I don't know what it's called, you throw your thing, you throw your bait, and the fish bites and chew a little bit, but then it drops. Maybe you can say that you were close to catching the fish. At least it has bitten, which is a step. But again, you have to see how many times that a fish bites, it results into catching a fish. Because maybe it's 1 time out of 10, so you were not that close. But maybe it's 90% of the time, then you were close. So you have to see the almost, there is the almost part here, of the top part of the funnel, and there is the success. Does it drop massively between almost and success? Then almost is meaningless. But if it dropped very little, then maybe yes, maybe you were close. But you have to make this distinction. Most of the time, almost is an illusion, meaning that the top part of the funnel with the almost was very wide, very big, and the success part was very, very small. It just gives you the illusion that you were close, but you were not. But sometimes you may be close, for real. Like, let's say, like in a tennis, I don't know how it works for tennis, but let's say you have to earn points and it's end up 99 to 100. Yeah, it was a close call. Whereas if it end up 1 to 100, not really. But you have to really, it's not always clear. Often we abuse the word almost and it becomes a story. So the word close is probably better. It's a little bit less distortive. But again, we have to be very careful when we use it, because often we are applying the word almost or close where it does not belong. It's just a story. But sometimes it's kind of objective. But this, of course, requires some discernment and some understanding of the underlying probability of whatever it is that you believe is almost. But keep in mind the idea that almost in our mind really sounds like should. I made a video about should and how it's one of the worst and the most powerful stories that creates judgment and suffering. Should is very, very dangerous word. It's the idea of an imagined reality, a parallel imagined reality that is better, and we compare reality with this imagined reality, we produce a judgment which produces suffering. Almost is similar. We say we were so close that we produce this imagined reality where we have succeeded, and we compare the imagined reality with the actual reality. We make a judge. We judge the actual reality, which is the only one that actually exists, by comparing it with the imagined reality. So we judge the real reality by comparing it with the imagined reality, and we say, oh, the actual reality is terrible. The imagined reality is better. And then we suffer because of this judgment.